event in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Lucky Pierres. Tonight we are joined again by Danny, and we are going to rank the Alien franchise from best to worst.
We're not including the Alien versus Predators because text got violent between Ben and I.
They did, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Just because Ben said, I refuse to put Covenant below anything. And I was like, well, then I'm not doing collaborative if you just refuse to, debate it.
Last time I talked to Joe, he said, yeah, we're doing Alien vs. Predator. I included them. But
They're on here, but I just was going to not
mine
mention
are
them.
on here, but
You said they're the last two for you.
they're the last two for
Same.
me, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
to be
they're in the bottom three for me, too. But
we're each going to list our own rankings, and then we'll go off that and we'll discuss or debate or what have you. So I got number one, I got Alien.
Okay.
So I think most of us in this room, for certain, agree that Alien is the best.
It's going to be a real shame if someone doesn't.
It established the chest burster. It had amazing atmosphere. It looks as if it was made like 10 years ago. I mean, it looks timeless. It looks unbelievable still to this day. I watched it recently.
Really was ahead of its time.
Yeah, way ahead of its time. The creature design, the set design. Sigourney Weaver's great in it. Ridley Scott
Ridley,
killed it.
bravo, buddy.
Man,
before Ridley was senile.
right. But Alien is for sure far and away from me number one. Okay. Next up, I got Aliens.
Okay.
It went bigger.
Okay.
It went bigger with the whole alien xenomorph idea. It's more of an action horror, whereas the first one is just straight horror. And James Cameron really knows how to make sequels. You know, with this and Terminator 2, and
He does.
I thought it was an awesome sequel. I don't think it topped the first one, but it's awesome. I got that at number 2. Number 3 was, I think, Prometheus. I think the scale.
Woof.
I think the scale that movie went for and the themes and ideas that movie went for was so big and ambitious. It did. I don't think it pulled off exactly what it tried to pull off, but I think it has definitely got a lot of redeeming qualities and is a really good movie.
Didn't know we had Gizmo on set.
Seriously. So I got number 3. I got Prometheus. Number 4, our recent review, Romulus, Alien Romulus. I thought was an awesome. I don't know what you call it, sequel, prequel.
Homage.
Yeah, some
sort.
Yeah, reboot, what have you. I thought it was
Tribute.
Essentially.
Yeah.
very fast-paced, very action-oriented, kind of like Aliens in a way. Just very fast-paced and not much fat on it. Very good, very tight. Alien Resurrection, I got at number 5. There's a lot of people that knock that movie. I enjoy a lot of the stuff in that movie, if I'm being honest. Like the Ron Perlman. I like Ron Perlman. I like the underwater scene. I actually like that scene.
I like it as well.
I think it has some good CGI and good effects and I think that movie gets crapped on a lot. I think it's pretty good. Alien Covenant. I've watched this movie 3 or 4 times. I enjoy it. And I don't know, I still don't know how much I enjoy it. If that makes sense.
It's a mystery.
Not at all.
It's hard to explain. That movie's still like a mystery to me. Do I love it? Do I hate it? But right now it lies in the middle.
I need to rewatch it, but I remember it not being great.
It's not bad. I mean, I enjoy it, but this is where it gets to the ones that I don't enjoy much. Alien 3. I don't really care for it. Thought the CGI was terrible. I did watch the director's cut recently, which is like literally 25 minutes longer, and I don't think that helped the experience for me personally.
That was also in a very tough spot in the timeline of Alien. To follow aliens and Alien.
Oh, 100%. You're expecting
It's an impossible spot.
You're expecting so much from that, and
to get nothing is tough.
plus I think Fincher was in a tough spot, but that's a whole different story. And then lastly, we're not including them, but Alien vs. Predator and Alien vs. Predator Requiem, but that's just my...
So you're,
Yeah. What do you guys think? What?
All right, I'll go if you want. I had them just in tiers so that it would be easier for us to compromise, but if we're all doing it separate. Alien, by far number 1 to me.
Yeah.
Aliens and Romulus are on level playing field for me.
Okay.
So like 2 or 3, however you want to split it up, whatever.
I think they're very similar in like pacing and tone.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest,
Amount of
action,
action.
I do think that.
Then Alien 3 and Prometheus, the same level for me. Prometheus, I hated when it came out. I rewatched all of them recently, so I'm rewatching it. I felt it was much better, but I think the disconnect for me and most people is the alien like action horror isn't the cool part of the movie.
It's not.
Like the storyline with David the android is like the cool where like the story is, and just that whole change made people hate it immediately.
It's very Android centered.
Yeah, but watching it now, honestly, even just the beginning where he's the only one awake on the ship is the best part of the movie for me.
It's good.
And there's tons of weird little details to notice, like he's watching Lawrence of Arabia, which I also watched that for the first time recently. But he's watching that and like dyeing his hair so that like the roots and the top don't exactly match to look like the movie stars in Lawrence of Arabia, because that's the only like thing he knows.
Yeah.
But also, what a wild fucking movie to let an AI android watch alone on a spaceship, which is basically like a dude going into the desert and being like, hey, I'll lead this revolution and start a war for you, is what Lawrence of Arabia is.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah.
And
David's
then,
basically a sociopath android.
Yeah.
He's like the worst version of the androids.
and then
They're all pretty bad.
Resurrection for me,
Okay.
and then Covenant.
Okay.
Covenant to me is, you could put Alien vs Predator Requiem after it, that's fine. But Covenant, just Alien movies, is by far the worst to me. Because on paper, I was excited. After rewatching Prometheus, I was like, dude, Covenant I might have misjudged also. And I was like, they could have, because it was not David, it was the other android, but a copy of David.
Yes.
They could have taken that and turned it into another cool story about like him, and they tried to mesh it more with like the violence, action, horror, and I think it was terrible. And on paper, I should love it. Danny McBride, great addition.
Yeah.
Not really. It didn't work. The creature design and like set design, everything, I feel like was the worst of the franchise, which makes no sense because it is the newest up until Romulus movie. Like,
I'll give you that.
the weird fluidity of like the creatures, like it was like Ridley Scott was like, let's just use new technology, and it didn't look, because like
It was all CGI based.
yeah, the xenomorph looks sick because it's like a physical being,
Practical effects.
and it's like, so like I feel like that changed, and then like when there's all those like the field of like dead skeletons,
Yeah.
or whatever, it looks terrible. Like it looks like cut out of styrofoam, like in Spirit Halloween.
I mean, I've been
almost.
saying it since Napoleon. He's lost it. I think.
Yeah.
He's done. He needs to retire.
But like, yeah, I don't know why. Like, this was where me and Ben were arguing, because he refused the wiggle room on Covenant. Even when I was like, okay, I'll give you one of the Alien vs Predators, there was no wiggle room. That he likes Covenant and I don't like it. I don't know. And I mean, it's not the worst movie ever.
Yeah, right.
But for an Alien movie, I think it's so bad.
It didn't meet your expectations.
And it didn't have Numi.
Yeah.
I
Didn't
need
have
to watch
Numi.
that one again.
Yeah. She's great. Yeah. I enjoyed it. I don't know. I like.
She was there in spirit.
Yeah. Right. Her corpse was there.
Yes, she was experimented on quite a bit.
But like, Alien vs Predator, I get people hate it. The first one, not that great, especially rewatching it now. Like when I was younger, I thought it was sick. Rewatching it, I was like, it's not that cool. But almost anything that involves Alien or Predator in the movie is cool. And like I feel like it
Yeah, but that-
explains a lot of stuff. And then also when I was younger, the whole thing where they were like, oh, like predators are the aliens that taught us how to build pyramids and they came here to hunt. I thought that was so cool. I was like, dude, this is the sickest explanation
It was
ever.
a good idea. It was also, I believe it kind of came out around the time they were doing a lot of versus movies, like
Yeah.
Crossovers.
Freddy vs.
Yeah.
Jason.
But that movie's sick.
That movie worked.
I love it.
That movie is great.
So,
But yeah, the Alien vs. Predator Requiem is they tried to make it like a slasher and there's like weird teenage drama going on. And it's not good, but it is
was
funny to me.
Leprechaun in the Hood.
Yes.
It's what
Yeah, that's a good
Dude,
comparison.
Leprechaun, what a
It was.
sick
He goes
flick,
back
though.
to the because it was so good.
Well, yes, okay, he went back.
It was
He
like
went back
Leprechaun
to
in the Hood and Leprechaun in space together.
There you go. In space, yeah. Yeah, anytime they go in space, it's bad news.
But okay, go ahead.
I have Alien, obviously number one, and then Aliens, and then Romulus, top 3, and then
you don't care.
I really don't. The rest can be interchangeable. I think those are the top 3 for sure.
Yeah, Joe said-
and Aliens could even be like maybe switched, but I think Aliens better. But I don't think there's any question on those 2.
Yeah, Joe said as long as Prometheus was in the bottom 4.
So Covenant over Prometheus or the other way around?
I'd be fine with that. Yeah, they're all pretty interchangeable for me. Prometheus is not great. Covenant's not great.
I can compromise. I'll say the top 3 then. Alien, Aliens, Alien, Romulus. That's
fine.
So we're all in the same. Us
Yeah,
three are
same
on-
boat.
At least,
Okay.
yeah. We'll see what they.
I'm going to throw some wrenches in there.
That's fine.
I do like when people try to convince me otherwise.
Yeah.
I basically I scored them based off of, so I watched all of them last week.
Right.
I took a day to watch each one.
Yeah.
And before I watched it, I
Stop.
kind of scored it off of how much I remembered from it.
Okay.
How much I was looking forward to watching it. And like the nostalgia factor of going in to watch it.
Let's get
And then I
dicey.
watched it and then went, all right, well, this is how I feel about it now. So basically what got me at number 1 was just like the nostalgia and like I'm excited to watch this again, and I would watch it anytime I saw it on TV. I went Aliens first.
No
Just
problem with
because of the memorable factor, and just I would rewatch that over Alien if it was on TV today.
Okay.
If I had to watch
That's a
one or
big
the
factor,
other.
right.
It was a big factor for me.
Replayability, I
Yeah.
would say.
Well,
Bill
and
Paxton kills it. Bill Paxton's the man in that movie.
Absolutely.
He rules.
And I do feel like
He's so
it is
good.
like a case of one of those movies where some stuff you remember from Aliens, you think is from Alien. So like upon rewatching it, you're like, oh, like this sick part is from Aliens.
And it wasn't. I mean, I on my order, I just kind of went 1 through 9. I counted the AVP movies.
Yeah.
But I scored them, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest.
Okay.
So I give Aliens a 10 and I give Alien a 9 for the same factors. And the other thing that stopped me from giving Alien a 9 or a 10 was just like, I'm only going to give one a 10.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So-
Yeah, that makes
That-
sense.
To me, it's 1A, 1B.
Yeah.
But I went with Aliens just because of like how excited I was looking forward to watching it. It's like I can
Aliens?
sit
There's
down
just
and
more
watch
action
this,
in Aliens.
Aliens
and
is
that's what
great.
it was.
Yeah.
Aliens is great.
There's more
It's more
xenomorphs.
exciting.
Yeah.
but nothing takes away from the original Alien movie. It was just like it started the franchise.
Yeah, it's
It had a lot of just first moments. It was like Sigourney Weaver's character in that movie was just like that's the first time like a female character had that kind of role. It was just that hero.
badass?
Role. Yeah.
Right.
It was like groundbreaking for its time.
Yeah.
It started a whole genre of like sci-fi
Yeah.
horror.
Yeah, there's so many ripoffs of
Yeah.
It had an amazing creature design. Established that
Absolutely.
whole atmosphere and setting.
Yeah,
and like,
absolutely.
Yeah.
The whole
space
jump
horror.
scare.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
horrifying. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So many.
They had that tagline, "In space, nobody can hear you scream."
Yeah.
Yes. It established that whole like isolated, confined space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are
Awesome.
my 1, 2. I went Romulus 3. I don't think there's any debate on that. Well, 'cause with section.
I can take.
One
I can
over
put
here.
Romulus 3. All right.
I did like Romulus, and here's where it gets sticky for me and I gave Romulus an 8, so I went 10, 9, 8, and then I gave 3 movies a 6 based off of how I scored them, and so I got a tie. I got Alien 3, Covenant, and Resurrection with a 6.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people hate on Alien 3 a lot. If the design for the xenomorph itself was a little better,
Or they use practical effects.
or use practical effects, because that came out the year after Terminator 2 came out, and I think they try to recreate some of that CGI, effect that they had for Terminator 2,
Yeah.
and it just didn't work in that movie. With the
it did not.
Alien,
Yeah.
no, it didn't work because you needed that thing in front of you.
Yes. With practical effects,
Yeah.
it helps
It-
so much.
And that scene where the alien is chasing them through the corridors and the hallway and stuff like that, that was just great. But Covenant, I like Covenant actually a lot more than some people do apparently.
I enjoy it too.
Yeah.
It's
And-
Well,
fun.
that's like, because I feel like I'm shitting on it a lot, but that's just in the context of like Alien movies. I don't
Yeah.
think it's like the worst movie.
The Alien
but for
franchise is
Alien
very
franchise,
strong.
like,
So
Oh yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
So and then Resurrection, I really like Resurrection. Same
Honestly,
thing.
I
Ron
like-
Perlman, Winona Ryder.
It's fun.
I
haven't
like
seen that one
3
the
and
most,
I
honestly,
honestly like
which is
3 and
crazy.
Resurrection more than I remember liking.
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, Resurrection was not a bad movie, and Alien 3 was not horrible. It was really not that bad. The only, like, she's got the chest burster in her the whole movie.
Yeah.
And any other movie, that's like 5 minutes. That's 5 minutes that's out of you. And they explain it well. It's a queen, it's special.
Yeah.
It had the Empire face hugger in it. So it was like a special face hugger, which had 2 eggs. That's why there was 2 aliens in it. But they don't explain that in the movie. So it was just like, you had to like read into it to find out,
Yeah.
like, oh, well, this face hugger, because it was special, had a queen egg and a regular egg to protect the queen. Why it took longer to,
Just try to do too much.
yeah, and it's just like, they didn't explain anything of that. So it was just kind of like that. And I put Prometheus last with a 5. And
Oh, sorry.
Even upon rewatching Prometheus, you thought it was not.
I hated it more before.
That's crazy.
No, I hated it more before I rewatched it. So I hated it a lot more before I rewatched it. The last time I saw Prometheus before last week was in theaters. That's how long I went between watching
It's
them.
like 10 years.
Something like that, yeah.
12 years or something.
But yeah, it was just like, I liked it more the second time around.
Yeah.
It's because it was the expectations were higher.
Oh, and
Yes.
honestly, I feel like part of the reason I like Covenant so little is because I wanted the connection to Prometheus to be stronger. I wanted them to like expand on that like weird storyline of like the psychopath android being like a bigger character, which I feel like they kind of fumbled.
I don't think
And
so. I
that's
think
why-
David kind
I don't-
of succeeded in that.
And I think really Scott said he's not done with that yet.
Yeah.
So I think there's going to be a third one.
He probably should be, though.
no, I'd like to see a third one.
You watch those movies back to back, there's no reason to hate either.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, together they fit. Separately, it's like, what is this movie and what is that movie?
Right, I agree with you 100%.
But I hated Prometheus the first time around just because I went into it expecting
An alien.
Yeah,
more
and yeah.
instead of the trilobite octopus thing.
It is.
It was just so weird. But watching it the second time around, like you said, it's just like the android stuff.
Yeah, like that.
It was a lot of like lore building for the franchise, and it explained a lot. We're basically creators or creations of the
Engineers, yeah.
engineers. Yeah,
You're right, yeah. It was
Yeah.
a lot of lore building,
Which,
just
yeah, I
building
feel
the
like
universe. Yeah.
Took
Building the foundation.
people out of it because it's all before Alien.
That is
Like,
a big
you can't
thing.
like
It is a
it's
big
hard
thing.
to take it out of
It's
order
like going
that.
into a flashback of a movie. It
Yeah.
takes you out of it a little
and
bit.
we all went into that movie at that time just like
Yeah.
we're going to see an alien movie, but that's
We-
not what you
Not
got.
at all.
Exactly. Once you dial your expectations a little bit, you think you can enjoy it more
Yeah.
and not expect xenomorphs and full-blown.
But I mean, I gave that a 5 compared to Covenant a 6.
That's fair.
And just Covenant I liked better just because they had the actual xenomorphs in it.
Yeah,
I think
which,
that,
yeah, that's
that was
what
a lot of it.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like because Prometheus was such a shift, I didn't like that Covenant like went back to like being like the action alien thing. I wanted them to like fully lean into how Prometheus was like with Covenant instead of it was like they were like, oh, you know what, let's
Give them
probably
more-
scale it back a little
Probably
bit.
knew he
Yeah.
couldn't make multiple without a xenomorph and
Yeah.
just roll with it. He'd be like, I gotta throw a xeno in there
That'd
at some
be
point because
crazy,
people are
yeah.
gonna start losing their
He
minds.
needed to, you know?
Yeah. And then, I mean, if we care, but
Yeah,
Alien
but-
vs. Predator and Requiem in that order.
Get
I
those
gave
outta
them
here.
a 3 and a 1.
Yeah, get him out of here.
Respectively.
Yeah, like Requiem is not a good movie.
No, it's
but
not.
at least
No.
is like there's fun and funny to be had, but that's it. Like there's nothing
No.
redeeming about the movie besides like I like not like if we watched it together, it'd be a fun movie to like shit on.
Well, Alien vs. Predator, to me, like, towards the end of that movie, it came like a buddy cop movie.
Yeah.
It really
It's
did.
like laughable.
Yeah.
Like, what is going
She's
on?
running away with the predator.
Yeah.
They're both
Yes.
running. Like
Both
what is
dreads
that?
are flowing.
What is happening right now?
I
Yeah.
like hurt him more. It hurts him more for me because that they're Alien vs Predator and there's aliens and predators in it, and you still make it crap. You should be no
Yeah.
problem making great with those two
100%.
in it. Like
Except
You
for
grade
one
it
Well, I
worse.
think that is the
Except-
problem is they didn't think they had to try very hard to make a good
Apparently,
movie,
yeah.
like incorporating.
And then when you make a Predator a good guy, it's kind of
Immediately you're like, "Ah,
kind of tough.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, Requiem was Requiem.
Yeah.
We can't. The only redeeming quality about that movie was the hybrid alien predator.
Predalien.
Yeah, the Predalien.
I hate that they call it that, but
Yeah, that's an awful name for it.
Should be the
But that's
tagline
like
for that movie.
that's like the first time you see it like in a movie setting.
yeah.
It was pretty cool.
That was like the only.
That was the one redeeming quality. You're right.
Yeah,
that's
was it.
that's calling it Predaliens as bad as calling like the sequel to Twister Twisters.
Never gonna let that go.
I will never let that go.
Well, there was more than one.
Yeah, it's true. What if I would have came out here and said, okay, guys, number one, I got Alien versus Predator Requiem.
I would have stopped doing the pod then.
Yeah, I mean, I would have fed you to your dogs.
Right. Here's what we're gonna do. So we've all set our rankings individually. So we're gonna collectively agree. Okay. So I'll budge on that, and we'll say Alien. Are we safe saying
I'm okay with putting Alien 1.
Alien 1? We'll say Aliens number 2. Of course. We'll say Alien Romulus number 3.
Sure.
What are we saying at number 4?
I got.
like
I would put
Resurrection.
Prometheus. What would you guys say?
I mean, I'm fine with that. As long as the top three are top three.
I mean, on mine, the next
what
tier
is it?
would be
Three.
Alien 3, Prometheus,
Yeah,
then
I got
Resurrection.
3 next on mine. as
Okay,
well.
so we'll say 3. 3 at number 4. What would you guys say number 5? Prometheus?
Sure.
Prometheus number 5? Or?
I
I would
give
put
you-
Resurrection.
Yeah, I think you both like Resurrection.
I do like Resurrection more.
All right, so we'll say Resurrection at number 5, and then Prometheus at number 6.
And then Covenant, and then but that's the
Each and every
disagreement.
time.
Yeah, well, this is what I'm going to disagree with.
But I mean, I don't
But-
care. If you put Prometheus and Covenant as the last two, I don't care which one's which.
Yeah, I mean,
But I do
could-
like
could
Prometheus
care-
more than Covenant.
I could care less at that point.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I could budge on all that, too. I'm not
But,
going to
I
die
mean,
on that
we
hill.
put Prometheus next to Covenant because it was better storytelling.
I mean, they could be.
Prometheus?
Oh, yeah,
I would agree
absolutely.
100%.
They could just be in a tie. I don't care.
I would say, let's say Prometheus number 6, Covenant 7.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then
Sure.
the other tracks below that. But yeah, all right. So yeah, that's our final. You want to get in here too?
Watch out, he might be spitting acid over there.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't stick him with an electric stick.
All right, that is our final ranking. Oh yeah, I forgot to show this right here.
Oh boy, what did I do?
Yeah, I got the alien popcorn bucket, baby. Check that
Did you
out.
steal it?
No, I bought this. It's pretty cool,
He
right?
bought it and then he smashed it immediately.
I think that was you, Danny. I think that was you, man. No, but it does look like part of the design. It looks like it's melted, right?
Honestly,
Yeah.
I did. Yeah.
Looks like it's melted, but anyway. Worst purchase of my life.
Bummer. Bummer they didn't make a popcorn bucket that looked like you could fuck it, like all the other movies are doing.
Like the Deadpool one.
Yeah, but anyway, that's our rankings,
The alien
guys.
bod.
Thank you, Danny, for joining us.
Yep.
And we're going to catch you guys on the next one.
Remember when you bought